What's up people, happy Saturday, welcome to the Fomo Factory. I bought an altcoin, ta-da! It's finally time that I say that I really bought an altcoin for my long-term crypto portfolio. And it's not even an altcoin that I would really say like, hey guys, this is what I have been really bullish on. But the chart just shows me really bullish stuff. Now, I must tell you that I'm dollar costing, okay? So I did not went crazy on it. I did definitely not go all in or anything. But before we get into that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn that bell notification on because I'm here every single day talking about the crypto market. And I'm gonna show you which altcoin I bought. You all know which altcoin it is. So why I bought it and when I will start buying more of this. Again, I'm still overall, when we look at the crypto market, very careful because of all the reasons I said. And I don't want to repeat myself too much in my videos, but Bitcoin just, it's not looking so strong right now. We have been in an look, the downtrend from November lasted until November. Basically a year later. And from January, we really started to show some strength. That strength has been taken down now, right? We were in this uptrend for Bitcoin and we now broke this uptrend. We also broke below the bull market support band. And it's just, you know, crypto is very cyclical, right? It's very easy to look back at what happened at this time of 4 years ago and 4 years before that. And it's basically all copy paste. And a lot of people say like, well, yeah, if it's so easy, then everybody can. Yeah, but everybody always believes that this time is different. And it always turns out not to be different. And that's what's getting people wrecked. Therefore, I'm sticking to the cycles quite a lot. The S&P, it has a little bounce right now. The S&P doesn't really know what it wants right now. It went down, it went up, and it went very hard down again. And now it's recovering a little bit, but it's still above the bull market support. And that's so beautiful about the bull market support band, right? Once you really break it, you retest it, but you use that to climb up. And now the S&P really mooned above the bull market support band. And of course, it came back down and retested, and now it bounces off of it. That could be bullish for Bitcoin. And if something is bullish for Bitcoin, it could be bullish for altcoins, right? Now, I must say that, you know, if we look at the S&P, it is pretty overbought right now, right? The weekly RSI is really like high. And still I'm under the opinion that although we had such a big bounce, we should come down, right? And do we come down to 4K, to, you know, 3.8? I don't know, but I do think that we will see a correction and that correction is going to mark the final capitulation for Bitcoin and also for altcoins. So I do think still that, you know, nothing has changed. Bitcoin will come down the rest of the year and altcoins will go down with it. But if you want to buy altcoins with Bitcoin, then you have some decent entries here and there already. Although I think that if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, right, the Bitcoin dominance was ranging in here for 2 years, broke up, came down, and now it looks like it's going to bounce. Right, I've drawn this like not time-wise, but just like maybe, you know, moving-wise, how it could end up, right? We could bounce here a little bit for a while and then finally break up once Bitcoin really starts its bull market, which I still expect to be in June 2024, give or take, right? It's what usually happens if you look at the halvings, right? That's the blue line. The red line is a year before the halving, but really after the halving, Bitcoin cools off for a month or two and then moons. Bitcoin after the halving cools off and then moons, right? We have the halving here around, not quite sure, depends on the blocks, but March, April. Therefore, I expect it to May, June do pretty well, right? But what we also see is that once Bitcoin goes up, the Bitcoin dominance also goes up, right? You can overlay it under each other and you see that the orange line, which is Bitcoin, every time Bitcoin goes up, the dominance follows basically. So therefore, I still expect that to happen. And then altcoins will go down on their Bitcoin pair. So therefore, I today, just like 15 minutes ago or something, I bought $1,000 worth of a certain altcoin with my Bitcoin. And it's a small percentage, small piece of my portfolio. And I do still think that that altcoin will go down, especially on its dollar value. But on its Bitcoin pair, yeah, it's looking pretty decent. And that's this one. This is Cardano, right? Now you might think like, what the fuck, Fomotion? A couple of months ago, you said Cardano was trash. And yes, and I bought this trash. Why? Let me explain. Yes, I don't think Cardano is the best project out there. It's a layer 1. Nobody's really building on Cardano. It's slow, it's expensive. There are way better layer 1s out there. But what Cardano has is two things. One, a reputation of surviving a bear market. We had Cardano doing very well in 2017. Crashed extremely hard, where it went all the way to 1.5 cents. But in the next bull market, it crushed it again to $3. So Cardano knows how to survive a bear market. And two, Cardano has an insane community. The Cardano community is just like, you have the XRP community and the Cardano community. Both coins that I think like, ooh, you are pretty overvalued. But, you know, it's like the meme coin of the utility coins. Let me put it like that. What I noticed, why did I buy it, right? If I look on the dollar pair, Cardano is like, I don't know what the fuck I've done right here with these drawings. Let me remove everything. This is trash. So on its dollar pair, Cardano looks like, okay, this might come down to 11 cents probably. And that sounds very bearish, but when it was 50 cents or 60 and someone would have said 26, it's just as bearish. It also happens. Like that could happen, of course. But I looked at its Bitcoin pair and I noticed something. What I noticed, I was looking, there are lower highs, but there are also higher lows, but not just a higher low. It is a pretty freaking strong uptrend, right? And we had 1 touch, 2, 3, 4, right? And you can say like 5, 6 maybe, but it is holding. Now, what I have also seen is this. This is how Cardano looks on its Bitcoin pair. You know, not a perfect drawing, but you get the point. Right, so then you look at this and you be like, okay, but who says that it can go do this? You know, yes, it can, definitely, 100%. But I looked at the last cycle, and what I've seen right there is that if we draw the exact same thing, what do you see? Quite perfect. 1 touch, 2, 3, breakout to the upside. Well, and you can even draw this further. You can draw it like this. Well, let me, whatever. So I kind of see the same thing, right? Now, I still am under the impression that if, you know, the Bitcoin dominance goes up, that Cardano won't be resistant to that and it could go down. So most of my money, I'm still betting on the fact that it could break to the downside. But I should not be ignorant and put all my eggs in one basket and think like, hey, this is what I think is going to happen, so I'm going to bet all my money on that. I also want to bet against myself. It sounds super stupid, but you could be wrong, right? And I could be wrong. And I always try to think like, okay, but what if I'm wrong? What if this is exactly the same as this? And it pops to the upside. I want to have some money in that situation, right? I want to have some position in the fact that this could happen. It looks creepy similar, if you ask me. So yeah, I quite like that. So, and yeah, also if you take a look, when we were here, the RSI was sitting at this level, give or take, right? The RSI is now sitting at the exact same level. It's not that the RSI is now completely overbought. The RSI is quite oversold as well, if you look here, right? If you look at the daily, yeah, of course, right? If should you buy it today? Well, probably not, right? Like, what the fuck am I doing? Maybe, you know, you can still buy this in November. It could still be in this trend in November, right? For all we know. Maybe even in December. Maybe it does something like this. Could be. So there's no hurry, no rush, no nothing when it comes to that. Can Cardano go lower after my buy? Fuck yes. Do I hope it goes lower? Hell yes. Because I deployed a small amount of my portfolio, but definitely not everything. Right? So if it goes up, I'm gonna ride that wave with some Cardano that I didn't really want in the first place anyway. Right? And if it goes lower, yeah, then it's getting a buy opportunity. Right? Because I do think that Cardano can make you a lot of money. Right? We are now in the phase of crypto where you do not need a lot of money to make a lot of money. And also we are in the phase of crypto where you do not have to play in the risky altcoin casino to make a 50x with crypto. You can do that on, you know, mid caps. Because let's be real. Will Cardano do a 50x from here? I doubt it, right? Like if Cardano has to do a 50x from this point, it has to go to around $12 or so. Right? Will Cardano touch $12? Well, nobody knows, but if I have to guess, I would say no, right? But what if Cardano just goes back to its all-time high? But you buy at 6 cents, then it does 50x, right? Going to 6 cents and back to $3 is a way more realistic possibility than staying here and going to $12, if you ask me. And I know a lot of people, they feel like, man, I don't care about Cardano and it's an altcoin. In the last bull run, it was also an altcoin, right? Who cares what year it's been made? This altcoin did 170x. And that's on a low risk altcoin, relatively. So yeah, I don't know. You tell me. I'm mostly going to go into crypto gaming coins. That's what my portfolio is going to look like most. But I happen to see this chart like this, and I figured like, yeah, well, you know, let's throw some money at this thesis, right? And again, I have this right here, this alert, because in my opinion, it is definitely possible that Cardano comes down here. Will I lose half of my Bitcoin money then? Yes. But I have so much more that I can allocate at this level, right? And therefore you want to look at charts like a lot of people always said, like, yeah, just dollar cost. And I'm not dollar costing the way down, right? I'm not dollar costing the way down. This goes against it a little bit because, yes, Cardano is still on its way down. In this cycle, it's making lower highs, right? It's very clear, lower highs and lower lows. So when you purely look at that, there is nothing that says Cardano is now a good entry. Nothing, right? So it sounds a little hypocritical. I don't know. But Cardano happened to be a coin that you can really compare with the last cycle. And in that case, I do also see like, hey, but it's also on the macro making higher lows. Cardano is strong against Bitcoin on the macro. Believe it or not, Cardano does outperform Bitcoin when it comes to the lows since its existence. So that looks good. If this gets broken, then things would be now different since the last 6 years. Could that happen? Yes, of course, everything could happen. But is it likely? I don't know. We had so much support right here and we are now sitting on that level. And I do feel like if I ever want to buy this, why not throw a little bit in right now? It is really not that bad of a play right now, in my opinion. Right, Cardano, if it has to go back to its Bitcoin all-time high, it can do a 6x. Right? That's 6x more Bitcoin. Nice. But, you know, if Bitcoin does a 10x as well, then I'm 60xing my money already from this point. Right? If you play it like that. So, yeah, not too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to really search for charts that look like this. Look, I'm not going to spend too much time at, you know, altcoins on their dollar pair, because what you really want to see is that an altcoin stays strong against Bitcoin as well. If an altcoin is losing from Bitcoin, then why should you be interested in it, right? Because you take more risk and you take less reward, then you can just better buy Bitcoin, right? I'm not a Bitcoin maxi at all, right? But we all know that Bitcoin is less risk than any other crypto out there. Anyone, no exceptions at all, right? So in that case, I feel like, yeah, but you know, if we take more risk in an altcoin and it's not, you know, doing better than Bitcoin, then there's absolutely no reason for me to buy that altcoin. Right, so I will look at some charts, like, and yeah, Cardano has the, like I said, it has the history, right? It doesn't mean that I'm only going to buy altcoins, but some of them, like Dogecoin, for example, yeah, this structure looks completely different, right? Dogecoin is really unpredictable. Basically, Dogecoin, since its existence in 2013, right, 14 here, it was going down, right? Lower highs, lower lows. Then Elon came in the game, right? And that made Dogecoin pump, right? And now Dogecoin is sitting here. From a chart perspective, I do feel like, okay, interesting place, right? But super high risk, high reward. It's already high risk because it's a meme coin with an unlimited supply, right? So when I purely look at that, I would say like, yeah, that's not a long-term hold for me at all. I won't sleep well at night knowing that I have such a risky coin in my portfolio. And it's also risky because this is last support. And if this breaks, yeah, then we can go down quite a lot against Bitcoin, right? Then we can fall at least like 50, 60% or something like that. Right? If it holds there, right? It could fall way more. Right? So that's not something really that I would like to play with. What I want to see is altcoins holding up against Bitcoin. That's really important. So for example, Phantom, I don't know if people are still interested in Phantom right now. But yeah, this point right here, nah, not really interested. If it falls down another 33%, then I might be interested, right? Then I might be interested, chart-wise. Like I said, AVAX as well. Like AVAX could still fall another 20%. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is. If AVAX goes back to its all-time high, just if, right? 570%. If you buy it right here, you make 730%. That's a big difference, right? That 20% here is a 200% difference at the top because you know, yeah, well, I need to explain that. So that's what I'm looking for. So I am definitely not interested in altcoins that look like this, right? Which are discovering to the downside. Right? Not saying that this altcoin won't recover, and this RW, for example, not saying that this won't recover and that this is not a good project or anything, but one, if it is a good project, then why is it falling like this? But whatever, you do not know where this is going to stop because you could have thought the same thing over here, right? People were like, oh, new low, and it's holding for a while right here. And still it fell down another 30%. Who says this cannot fall down another 30%, right? And with the older coins, you at least have this, right? You have people that feel like, hey, this is where I sold last time, so this is now where I'm gonna buy to play even or whatever, or to be in the game again. Or this is psychologically, right? This is not just a chart and a line is sacred or whatever, but it works. It's psychology of the human being, and that's interesting, I think. And therefore, charting is so cool. So again, I'm not looking at this stuff, Moonbeam, not looking at stuff like Arweave, not looking at stuff like Hex, not looking at but I'm also not looking at stuff like Injective or anything, right? This has been ranging from down to the top, to the downside, to the upside. If I had this, I would have sold this right now with a big smile on my face, right? Casper, same thing. If I had some Casper, I would be selling it. I said that quite a while ago, right? And it should have been a great call because look at Casper. What does it do? Everybody's bullish on Casper. And when everybody started to say like, yo, you should buy Casper, I was like, oh, I'm so not going to buy this right now. Because if everybody is bullish on it, it should be the sign that if you hold the altcoin, like, okay, maybe I should now sell it. Because from that point, it's already down 30%, right? And it's likely that it goes down a lot further, right? Maybe not, but I'm not gonna risk it. What's the up and downside right here, right? So I'm just looking at solid, you know, Bitcoin bottoms on for the Bitcoin pairs, right? Illuvium, same thing. People be like, oh yeah, good bottom right here. I don't know. It's not really a solid bottom right here, right? This bottom now looks like it's going to be resistance, right? Illuvium still has to find its bottom, wherever that might be. Maybe this is it, but maybe this was it. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was it. So far it wasn't. So I'm not gambling on the fact like, yeah, this is it for some reason. I'm buying it, right? It's stupid. It's not, that's gambling. It's not what I'm doing. Right, Gala, love the project, would like to have a big bag, but no confirmation of a bottom range so far, right? And again, I'm not waiting for the bottom to buy. I'm waiting for a confirmation that the bottom range is in sight, and from there we can start deploying slowly. Focal Forge, same thing, maybe. I don't know. If it goes down again and it holds this level again, then I'll be like, okay, Focal Forge might now finally be a decent play, right? But if, you know, the Bitcoin dominance goes up and Focal Forge is already sitting here, so yeah, it has no more room, and then goes down, yeah, then also the dollar pair, pair gets broken, right? And then it's the matter of like, yes, Focal Forge going to $2, to $1.50, to whatever, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at for now. Magic is a good project, but then again, chart-wise looking terrible, to be honest. I mean, it came out, had a big hype, and it cooled down, and it's now below where it came from. So not looking good. And there are some smaller caps like Remark, but that chart looks horrible, right? IMX is a chart that... Is this IMX Bitcoin pair? What the fuck? Okay, wait. So IMX... is something, and by the way, if you have some altcoins you would like me to check out to give you just my opinion on, I mean, you can look at this for yourself, but leave a comment. I can definitely look at that. But IMX is, I like the project, but token investing, right? I have a little bag of this, by the way, a little bag. But it's like, the chart is not looking so good, right? It's... yeah, it's clearly making lower lows, right? With a low, with a low, with a low, with a low, right? So it's still going down. Who says that it cannot go on, right? So I'm not giving away my Bitcoin that is, well, almost guaranteed to make you profits to an altcoin that is going down and God knows how long, right? That's weird. That's just a bad trade to put it like that. So yeah, I have a couple that I'm looking at. I'm not gonna make it way much longer, but yeah, like I said, Cardano. I just really, I don't know. And maybe I'm being completely wrong, but again, if I'm wrong, I don't care, because I also am prepared to buy here, right? If you now listen to this video and be like, hey, you bought, so maybe I will buy as well, and you put too much money in and it does go here and you'll be mad at me, you should be happy, because you should be prepared to buy more at lower levels. And if it doesn't get here, you at least have some back, right? So that's, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, AVAX is something that I really would like to pick up. And it's not that I say like, yeah, let's wait for this because it's a lot more cheap. But also like, we should see confirmation at this level. That's more the point, right? Because this is not confirmation at any point yet. This is just a lower low right here, right? But here, we should have this support at least. And then it's interesting to see if that holds. So I'm waiting for this, and I'm not directly buying it then. I want to see if it really bounces and hold this. If it holds, then I want to buy it. Right? So AVAX, it will take a couple of weeks, months before I might be interested in buying that. A coin that I really would like is Chainlink, but Chainlink, I must say that when you look at these horizontal supports, then and you get rid of this one, right, this horizontal support, yeah, we had some shit going on right here. We have support over here last year in May, and we now broke it, but we got back up pretty fast, and we are trying to test that as support as well. But that's the thing, like if it doesn't hold, yeah, then Chainlink can get a lot cheaper than what it is right now. And that's already like 20-30%, and that's just this range right here, right? But who says that this can be broken? Maybe it then goes down here. I don't know, right? It's not too expensive necessarily, but it's too risky to buy altcoins right now, most of them. Chainlink, what the fuck do I say? Matic. Matic is a coin that is, in my opinion, it is high cap, but it's high risk, high reward, if you know what I mean. It kind of looks like BNB. When you look at it like that, right? We had a big bounce, basically straight up, and we are now in this range. And based on this range alone, you would say like, yeah, this is the golden buying opportunity, right? It's at the bottom of the range. But you also must consider like, okay, but what if this range gets broken? Then it's fucked, right? If this gets broken, the Matic is down 70%. Right, on its Bitcoin pair. Can you imagine how it looks on its on its dollar pair when Bitcoin goes down? Then Matic could be like, it's now 50 cents, could be 10 cents maybe, I don't know, but a lot more down, right? But you can take the same kind of risk-reward ratio based on your own portfolio and saying like, okay, I'm betting on the fact that this range will hold, right? And even if it does this, right, then this is a good trade. But you should consider that this could happen, and then you're fucked. So don't put too much money in there, because that's from 2K Satoshi to 500. It's a lot lower. That's kind of my concern with Matic right now. Yeah. It could be a good one. It could be a good one, because there is also a decent upside. 200%, give or take, right? So that's a 3x right there. Forged, we already had that. Side is nonsense. Solana is interesting, if you ask me. Also an older coin though, not that old though, but you know, it wasn't a clear downtrend against Bitcoin, and it at least broke that, you know, this downtrend as we know it. Yeah, if we take a look at the bull market support band, it's now kind of trying to hold support right there, but it's not really bouncing off of it. So it more looks like it's knocking until it breaks, and then it goes down. That's kind of how it looks like in my opinion. And Solana is, yeah, I think that it could go down a little bit more against Bitcoin, at least to this level, so 10% or so. If that doesn't hold, yeah, then we can see this level again for Solana, give or take, right? And that's like 30% lower or so. Yeah, give or take, right? So, and after that, it's also a hard fall, right? Then it's like more like 50% lower, this area right here, there. Right, so Solana is kind of make up your mind before I'm a gamble which direction it's going. Yeah, and then we have coins which are high risk, like these low caps like Superverse. But yeah, this is like the prime example of an altcoin that you just should not buy yet. Like, no offense to Leo, it's a good project, but the price chart is just looking complete like shit, right? It's looking really like shit. So it's really been making lower highs basically since it existed. So there was no good moment to buy Superverse yet as an investor, right? As a trader, of course, in every chart you have opportunities, but no. Ultra, if it holds this level, then it's interesting. I want to see how this level plays out. Fiore also, if it holds this level, but it looks like so far it's holding it pretty decent. But you always have to consider, if it doesn't hold, if it gets broken, yeah, then the downside is on Fiore is pretty big though. Like you have all these in-between levels. I think that this is the first 50% down, and then it gets like really nasty. So That's kind of my take on it, how I decide what altcoins I am buying and when I will be buying them. So if you ask me like, when do you finally buy altcoins? I cannot give you a date. It depends on when the chart does what I want the chart to do. And that could be today, tomorrow, in a week, in a month, in half a year. I don't know. I expect most of this to play out in the rest of this year, maybe beginning next year. So I want to leave it there, by the way. If you want to know this information up front and exclusive videos on how to search for these things, trading courses, you name it. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in the Patreon. So check out the Patreon as well. Do I have a Patreon? Here we go. I forgot my logo as well. But here's the Patreon. So definitely go check it out. A lot of valuable information, which saves you a lot of money and makes you a lot of money as well. So if you're interested, check it out. Guys, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and I'll see you tomorrow.